I knew it was over the second I saw her wearing my
bracelet for him.
A week before that, she kept borrowing my hoodie, laughing at my dumb jokes, and texting me stuff like, "Why are you actually funny in person?" So yeah, I thought maybe she liked me too. I even used the money I was saving for new headphones to buy her this simple silver bracelet she said was so cute at the mall. When I gave it to her, she smiled and went, "Wait, you remembered?" And I swear, my heart almost
exploded.
The next morning at school, I walked in late, looked across the courtyard, and saw her. She was wearing the bracelet, but she wasn't alone. She was sitting next to my best friend, and he had his arm around her. I literally
froze.
Then I heard him say, "See? I told you it looked better on you." She looked up, saw me standing there, and her smile dropped so fast. Turns out she told him about the bracelet the night before, and that's how they started talking. So yeah, I bought my crush a gift, and accidentally helped her get with my best friend. I've never felt my stomach drop that fast in school. My friend Ethan texted me at like 11:48 p.m. saying, "Bro, please help, I'm actually done for." We had this huge history presentation the next morning, and he forgot almost everything. I was half asleep, but I still called him, fixed his slides, rewrote his opening, even gave him this really good line about the Great Depression so he'd sound smart. I thought we were a team. So tell me why the next day he stands in front of the class, smiling and says, "I stayed up all night making this perfect." Perfect? I just sat there frozen. Then my teacher goes, "Wow, Ethan, best presentation so far." And everyone clapped. At lunch, I pulled him aside and said, "Seriously, you couldn't mention me once?" He looked nervous and went, "I was going to." I said, "No, you weren't." Then he finally whispered, "Your name was on the disciplinary list this morning. If I said you helped me, she would have checked your part too, and you could have gotten in more trouble." I just stared at him. I thought he betrayed me. He was actually
protected.
She used me to practice for the guy she actually loved. It started in math when she slid into the empty seat next to me and whispered, "Can you help me with something? But don't make it weird." I laughed and said, "That depends." She smiled, looked down, and goes, "I need help talking to a boy." My stomach literally blew. But I still said yes. After that, it became our thing. Every night she'd text me screenshots like, "Does this sound too obvious?" Or, "What if I just say hey?" In the hallway, she'd grab my arm and be like, "Okay, pretend you're him." I'd help her flirt, fix her messages, even teach her how to act less nervous. The worst part, she started getting comfortable with me, like really holding my hand for practice, leaning on my shoulder after school, walking with me so close our sleeves touched. So yeah, I caught feelings. Then one Friday, she asked me to stay after school and said, "I finally know what to say." I smiled and asked, "To him?" She looked straight at me and whispered, "No, to you." I swear my whole chest just stopped. They made a goodbye video for everyone except me. It was the last day before break, and our advisor turned off the lights so we could watch the class slideshow on the projector. Everyone kept laughing every time their face popped up. Field trip clips, stolen lunch pics, dumb selfies. Even the quiet kids got their own little montage. Then it ended. People started clapping, and I just sat there staring at my shoes because I could feel my face getting hard. My friend leaned over and whispered, "Bro, why weren't you in it?" I forced a laugh and said, "It's fine," but it wasn't, because the person who edited the whole thing was Mia, and we hadn't talked since that stupid rumor that I liked her best friend. Then, right when our teacher reached for the laptop, the screen turned back on. One last video started playing. It was just clips of me, helping people with homework, picking up trash after class, lending my hoodie when it rained. Then Mia's voice said, "We didn't forget you. We saved the best one for last." Yeah, I cried in front of everybody. I swear that locker opened by
itself.
I only stayed after school because I forgot my hoodie in 5th period English, and my mom was outside texting, "Hurry up!" The hallway was so quiet I could hear the lights buzzing. I was passing the lockers when one near the end creaked open.
Slow.
I froze. At first I thought one of my friends was messing with me, so I said, "Bro, stop. That's not funny." Nobody answered. I walked closer, and inside was a folded paper with my name on it. Not my full name, just the nickname only a few people call me. My hands were shaking when I opened it. It said, "I know what happened in the gym. It wasn't your fault." My stomach dropped because 2 days earlier, I accidentally broke this girl's phone during basketball, and everyone thought I did it on purpose. Then I heard, "Did you read it?" I turned around, and it was her. She looked nervous and whispered, "I told everyone the truth." Then she smiled a little, and somehow that scared me more than the wall. My whole class saw a photo from my bedroom that I never put on my phone. It started 3rd period when my phone went off in the middle of math. My teacher snatched it off my desk and went, "Again?" Everybody laughed. Then the screen lit up, and my stomach literally dropped. My lock screen was a picture of me asleep in my room. Same gray hoodie, same messy blanket, same LED lights behind my bed. The class got quiet for like 2 seconds. Then this girl in the back whispered, "Wait, who took that?" I grabbed my phone and said, "That's not my lock screen." But now everyone was staring like I was wrong. My teacher thought it was some dumb prank, but I couldn't even focus after that. My hands were shaking. At lunch, my best friend Mateo went, "Bro, did you send that to someone?" I said, "No, I've never even seen it before." Then he asked one question that made me feel sick. "Why is your window open in the photo?" I looked again and
froze.
Because I always lock it. That night, I checked my phone gallery. The picture was taken at 2:14 a.m. while I was home, while I was asleep. My crush sent me her location at 11:08 p.m., and I swear my heart stopped. Her text just said, "Come quick." No emoji, no explanation. We barely talked at school except for hallway smiles, so I threw on a hoodie, lied to my mom, and biked to the park by the basketball court. That's when I saw her. She was standing under the lights with my best friend Jay. I hid behind the vending machine like an My phone buzzed again. It was her. "Where are you?" I stared at the screen because she was right there with him. Then Jay looked around and said, "He's not coming." Not coming. I stepped out and went, "I'm here." They both turned so fast. She looked shocked. Jay looked guilty. Then she whispered, "I didn't send that to him. I sent it to you." Jay pulled out his phone and admitted, "I grabbed hers at lunch and sent your location to myself too." I thought he was exposing me. Instead, he smiled and said, "Bro, she's liked you for months. I was tired of both of you acting dumb." My life literally ended because my mic
was on.
It started during lunch when me and my friends were in a group call, just messing around and talking about school. Then my friend Kayla goes, "Why does Ethan always clear his throat like a dad?" And I laughed way too hard because it was true. So I added, "No, literally, and the way he says present in attendance sounds so serious for no reason." Everybody started laughing. I was covering my mouth, trying not to choke, and that's when Jay suddenly got quiet and said, "Wait, isn't Ethan in here?" My stomach dropped. I looked at the call, and there he was. His name was at the bottom of the screen, unmuted, listening the whole time. Nobody said anything for like 3 seconds, but it felt so long. Then Ethan just goes, super calm, "Dang, my present voice really bothered you that much?" I wanted to disappear. At school the next day, I couldn't even look at him. But when I walked past his desk, he smiled and whispered, "Present." I laughed so hard I almost cried. And somehow that made it worse. My birthday was the day I realized I was basically invisible. I woke up to no balloons, no cake smell, not even a lazy happy birthday text from my cousins. My mom just said, "Can you help clean later?" And my sister kept flipping her phone over every time I walked in. By dinner, nobody had said it once. I kept smiling like it was funny, but my chest actually hurt. Then around 8 p.m., my aunt called and said, "We're all waiting." My mom grabbed her keys and went, "Come on, hurry." I thought, okay, surprise party. They got me. When we pulled up, the house was full of lights, music, and my relatives yelling, "Surprise!" I swear my eyes watered for a second. Then I looked up at the banner. It didn't have my name on it. It said, "Congratulations, Dad." My dad had gotten some huge promotion, and my birthday was basically the excuse to get me there without asking questions. I just stood there holding a little gift bag with my name written on it, and my mom leaned in and whispered, "We were gonna celebrate you after." That word hurt way more than them forgetting. I haven't logged into my 2018 Roblox account in forever, but seeing last online 2,900 days ago actually just broke me. Back then, my life was a mess. My parents were constantly fighting, and school was a nightmare. The only thing I looked forward to was hopping on at 7 p.m. to play with Shadowcaster. We didn't even know each other's real names, just our avatars and our stupid inside jokes. We promised we'd play together until we were old. Then, one Tuesday, he just never came back. I checked my inbox today and found a message I missed from our very last night. It said, "Hey man, my dad's taking my PC because of my grades, but don't worry, I'll find a way back to you. You're the brother I never had." I'm literally sitting here as a senior in high school, staring at a screen, crying over someone I never even knew. Shadowcaster, if you're out there, I finally made it to graduation. I just wish you were here to see it. Log in one last time, man, please. Being the poor friend in a group of millionaires is exhausting. But the lie I told to fit in finally caught up to me in the worst way. At my school, everyone wears designer and talks about their summer homes. So I made up a fake life. I told them I lived in a mansion and even posted fake pics on my private story. Last Friday, I told them I was sick to avoid the mall because I was broke. I was actually home in my cramped one-bedroom apartment when my phone buzzed. "Yo, we're outside your place with snacks." My heart stopped. I looked out the window and saw 3 Range Rovers parked in front of my crumbling building. They weren't at the mansion. They tracked my real location. I walked out in my old hoodie and the silence was deafening. They didn't laugh. They just looked at the peeling paint and my tired face with this soul-crushing pity. One whispered, "Oh, is this actually where you live?" I realized the lie didn't make me fit in. It just made me lose my I spent 16 years thinking the world was trying to kill me, but it was actually just my mom. Since I was 5, I've been the bubble boy. No sugar, no pets, and no sleepovers because of my severe asthma and a list of allergies longer than my math homework. I lived on flavorless snacks and wore only specific cotton shirts she bought. I never questioned, why would I? She's my mom. But last week I went to the school nurse for a headache and she offered me a peanut butter cracker. I panicked, screaming that I'd literally die. She looked at my medical file and frowned. "Leo, you don't have any allergies listed here." I didn't believe her, so I used my savings to get a private blood test. When the results came back, I was negative for everything. Not a single allergy. I confronted my mom, shaking with the papers in my hand, and she didn't even look guilty. She just whispered, "If you weren't sick, you wouldn't have needed me anymore." I realized then that my childhood wasn't a tragedy. It was a prison. I thought my younger brother was my best friend until he literally stole my entire life. It started small. Leo began borrowing my vintage hoodies and using my exact same slang. I thought it was just a phase, but then he started showing up everywhere. He joined my Discord calls and accidentally dropped into my gym sessions. Last month, he started texting Maya, the girl I've had a crush on since freshman year. He told me he was just helping me out by getting closer to her friends. I actually believed it. But last Friday, I finally got the courage to ask Maya to the formal. She just looked at me with this weird, painful pity in her eyes. She whispered, "Wait, didn't Leo tell you we're going together?" My heart didn't just break. It felt like it stopped beating. My own brother, the kid I taught to play basketball, stole the one person I cared about. Now, he's wearing my clothes and dating my girl, while I'm becoming a ghost in my own house. Don't trust anyone, not even blood. I found out the bracelet on my wrist was never meant. My best friend Liam gave it to me that morning before school and said, "For luck, bro, big math test today." It was this black string bracelet with a tiny silver star on it, and I swear I wore it like it actually mattered. I kept touching it all day, thinking, wow, this is the nicest thing anyone's done for me in a while. At lunch, even my crush noticed it. She smiled and went, "That's cute. Where'd you get it?" I kinda laughed and said, "Gift." She looked at it for 2 seconds too long and just went, "Oh." That's when my stomach dropped. After school, I saw Liam by the gate talking to her. He looked stressed, and she was holding the little paper bag the bracelet came in. Then I heard him say, "I was gonna give it to you, but I panicked." I just stood there. He turned, saw me, and went, "Bro, I can explain." But honestly, he didn't need to. I took the bracelet off right there and handed it back. The worst part? She looked at me like I was the one who broke her heart. The worst part wasn't that someone stole my shoes. It was what they left inside the pair they gave me. After After PE, everyone was shoving towels into bags and yelling over the locker room fans. I reached under the bench for my white sneakers, the ones my mom saved up to buy me, and they were gone. In my bag was this old beat-up pair with the laces tied together. My friend Mateo laughed and said, "Bro, who would even do that?" Then he looked inside one shoe and stopped smiling. There was a folded note. I opened it fast, already shaking. It said, "Stop talking to her. She feels bad for you." At the bottom was my crush's name. I swear my whole chest dropped. All lunch, she wouldn't look at me. So after class, I finally asked, "Did you write that?" She looked
Confused.
"What note?" Then her boyfriend walked past me, bumped my shoulder, and whispered, "Next time I won't leave shoes." I just stood there holding those dirty laces, because somehow getting threatened hurt less than realizing she never knew.